Hi everyone, my name is Mindy, the Chief Sales Officer here at Radenso Radar.
And I'm John, the CEO at Radenso.
Today we're going to talk about the DS1. It's a brand new detector from us. We've kind of had it up our sleeves hidden for a little while. This video is going to be exclusively about the details, the specs, the nitty-gritty, the launch info, pricing, all of that. So stay tuned, we're excited to talk about it.
So, who is the DS1 for?
For me. For me. The DS1 is for...
To sell, that's for sure.
The DS1 is really for it's the all-around driver who wants the best, but doesn't want to spend that Thea money. And it's available starting September 1st, so. Where Thea is not available September 1st. So the driver who wants something today.
So it's a single horn detector, right?
Yes, it is single horn. It does not have arrows.
And I would say the focus is on blending performance with feature set, which is something that at the price point we're going to launch it at, I thought there was a lot of room for improvement. You know, something that really did actually have top tier performance, but also had a lot of nice to haves too along with it. And
modernizing, I think, is a big thing. There's been a lot of great detectors out there with a lot of great range, but when it comes to like feature set and UI and just overall cosmetics,
you couldn't have it all. You had to kind of pick like what do I value most at this price point. So to make that happen. The story of it's kind of interesting. We have a really deep collaboration with Attawave on this. So a lot of you are familiar with Attawave from making the R3 and the R7 platform, and they do a great job with that. But as you know, we've invested a lot in our engineering here in Cincinnati too, and with our growth and the sales numbers being what we are, we saw a chance to collaborate on a little bit of a deeper level with them. So unlike the XP where we just said, hey, this is great, we'll take a lot of them. We said, let's work back and forth, collaborating and seeing what we want. So we actually did a significant amount of development here in Cincinnati. We did the industrial design, we did the mounting solution, we did the screen, which is shared with Thea. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, app development, right?
Yep, it's going to have an app that goes along with it, and we did that completely in-house ourselves. And then Attawave pitched in, taking what was already a pretty good RF base and kind of tweaking it to fulfill a little bit more of what we wanted. So this is I think it's going to be a really cool detector, and I think it's going to sell pretty well because it hits those points.
Checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Let's dig into specific features.
Yeah, so let's talk about the hardware before we get to like the software and the customizability and stuff. So just when you look at this thing, you know, what jumps out to the user at first? Yeah,
so the biggest, two of the biggest things are probably the magnetic suction cup.
Yep.
That is brand new for us, and it's very sticky. So it's
really sticky.
Apologize there. It will adhere to the windscreen, like so. Pick up your detector. Boom, you're locked in.
Yep.
Boom, you're out.
And one cool little thing about it too is that there's a little lip here. It's difficult to see. I'll throw in a B-roll shot, but that just provides like almost like a cantilever to prevent it from falling off during bumps. So it's very solid, and Randy may or may not have tested it on track at Mid-Ohio to make sure that it was up to par in terms of how well it holds.
I love it.
So yeah, it's a pretty good mounting solution. I've been really happy with it.
I think it's better than pretty good. I think it's pretty amazing, actually. Also, quarter 20 threads inside the detector, which is super, super cool. Allows you to have universal...
It's a world first for detectors.
Universal mounting options galore. If you just search quarter 20 thread, you know, action camera mounts or something like that, literally the world is your oyster. You want to mount it, you know, in your go-kart around town, you know, that's cool.
You want to use a 3M adhesive mount, high and tight. As Mindy said, you want to get an Action Cam 3-prong to quarter 20 adapter. You can use any of the Action Cam mounts with it.
Motorcycle RAM mounts, that sort of thing. I mean, it's
we are going to have a feature. It won't be at launch, but it'll probably be the first update after that flips the screen in software. So if you do want to mount it on your motorbike to like a handlebar clamp, no problem. You'll be able to do that. So it's kind of like a nice, you know, a nice thing that opens up other options for people, and I anticipate a lot of creative solutions out there people will be sharing and posting up online.
I dig it. How about that screen, that extra large high-res OLED screen? It is gorgeous. It literally also a first for us. This is not a cookie cutter screen that we picked off a shelf.
It's totally custom.
Yeah, totally custom. Do you want to talk a little bit about that innovation?
Yeah. So this screen is the highest pixel density screen that's available in any radar detector. It's fairly large as well. And what I really like about it too is that we actually paid a little bit extra money to get a really nice, it's called a custom in mold in front of the screen. and it adds contrast to and perceived legibility to the screen. So it's very bright. You should have no problem in even harsh weather conditions with sun shining on it, and it just looks sharp. It looks really, really nice.
It has also 8 different customizable colors for it too.
Yep.
Super cool. You can change the KA to be blue, your regular, main screen to be pink.
A million different options for you guys to mess around with.
Super cool.
What else from a hardware standpoint? We've got another first.
Oh, see the front mute button. It's kind of a big deal.
Oh yeah, totally.
Kind of a big deal. Just while we're talking about casing and stuff like that.
And that's something that we know has been requested on a
Not
bunch of different detectors.
Having to reach out to hit a mute button.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's like literally driving with it. I've got probably 7,000 miles now with it.
Yep.
I've been driving a lot with it, and it's just from a usability standpoint, it's so nice when I have to mute.
Again, that was a big pet peeve of mine with the Pro M, where you're reaching up, you can't tell what button's what. Well, the mute button's the one that you use most on any detector. It's nice to have it up front. I like the button feel on it. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
You can do your lockouts there. It has auto lockouts, but you can do manual lockouts there as well. So it's kind of a nice thing.
That little guy there.
Yeah, another big difference with this detector is kind of bringing it in line with what Thea is eventually going to be. We're changing up the port selection, and we decided to move away from the RJ jack. There's really no need anymore to have 2 different jacks on detectors. It just confuses people. We get support calls asking why the detector won't boot up without the RJ jack plugged in. So we just decided to move strictly to USB-C.
Along with the rest of the world.
It's just simple. Yeah, it's modern. It's 2021. We just don't feel you need other jacks anymore. And it does have a really nice positive, engagement action. The USB-C jack is stronger than people realize, and I'm pretty happy with how it's performed overall.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Comes with a handy dandy travel case, really, really high density travel case, clamshell style, holds your detector and your suction cup as well.
We've upgraded a couple of things since the last one. We've upgraded the material on it. The old one, it was nice, but it tended to have some threads that came loose and really bothered us. And we've also upgraded where we have the embossed Radenso logo on the leather piece.
You're like Vanna right now.
So again, not a big deal, just a nice little touch to make it feel more upmarket.
Yeah, absolutely.
The performance, I guess, right?
Yeah, let's dig in. It likes to detect things from far away.
So the performance on this thing has been pretty great. I don't know if you've seen Vortex's preliminary testing. Granted, it's just one test so far that he's published. But we've been running this thing pretty intensively behind the scenes, and it's been pretty much the most sensitive detector on the market in almost all of our tests.
Yeah.
It's really strong on Ka band. It does great on K as well. It's top tier range, which at this price point combined with these features, I think is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does do MRCD, and the performance in MRCD is very, very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've tested it in person, and the results will speak for themselves when people test it.
Awesome. So. We'll link you to Vortex's testing in the comment section below too. BSM filtering. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
So the BSM filtering, it's pretty good. It's going to be slightly better than what you're used to with like a typical AdaWave platform, like maybe an R3 or an R7. This is something that we do expect to continue to improve over time, now that we are collaborating back and forth with them on such a close level. Yeah. But it's pretty good right out of the box. We do have a couple of K-notch, I think one K-notch filter built in at launch, but we have 2 or 3 more planned for the next firmware updates, as well as just to continue to refine the actual filtering.
Also probably a good point to mention, software updates for life for free with Radenso, which is cool on all of our products. So when we launch new features or obviously bug fixes or anything, no charge. We take care of that. We encourage you to update often, usually once every month or 2, we say, to be honest. So.
Another thing that does help to deal with stationary falses too is the auto lockout implementation on this. So it does have auto lockouts.
Yahtzee.
And this does have both more memory and a faster processor than previous AdaWave platforms, which does allow slightly better auto lockout performance and more lockout points as well.
Yep. Just like the responsiveness of the detector is really, really nice.
Yeah, exactly. Scrolling through the menu, it absolutely flies.
And if you're familiar with auto lockouts, great. If not, just a quick recap. If you pass a stationary false alert 3 times, so let's say it's a grocery store or a bank or a pharmacy, it remembers the geographic location and the frequency of that threat. And 3 times passing it, it stores it in its memory and then automatically locks it out. So future pass-bys, it won't alert, which is wonderful and glorious. I'm now to the point with my commute. I've been out of town a lot lately, so on my commute into town, it's like I'm used to pulsing by that hospital or that gas station or whatever. So it's really nice now to realize that.
And I know Mindy already mentioned the software updates, but I do want to reiterate, now that this is a little bit of a more capable hardware platform, there is a lot more that we can do in the future with updates. So I know that like current detectors, the way that they implement lockouts has sometimes been risky, right? I mean, if you're locking out a huge portion of K-band, so we've even been talking about doing like a selectable lockout tolerances and stuff. And again, it won't launch with that. We've been just focusing on getting these things made and refined and the core performance stuff. But we've got a lot of plans in the future to make this an extremely customizable detector and just kind of take advantage of some of that horsepower that's in there.
Speaking about customizing, we've already talked about the alert, screen being able to be customized, the OLED screen. Alert tones, we have, I think, 10 different alert tones. If you want your KA alert tone to be alert 2, you can, or if you want all your alerts to be like KA, K, laser, MRCD, they can all be the same tone or different tones, which is awesome. It's nice to know, like, quickly, like that super annoying one for me.
That's for me. I do everything auditorily. Like I remember the specific tones. And that's how I've always done it.
Yeah, exactly.
Going farther off that point, every alert can have a custom color as well. So you can have a custom color and a custom sound for each alert, whether it's MRCD or laser or KA or whatever. Just another level of customization to make the detector your own.
Speaking from a more, I guess, international standpoint, we do have country selection in the menu too. So if you live in Canada or Australia or New Zealand, when you select your country in the setup menu, it will have that country's preferred settings literally at the touch of a button.
It will change the unit of measure, filtering settings if necessary.
Yep, exactly, which is cool. And that will probably tweak and change throughout time as well.
Certainly, yeah.
Which just goes without saying. Let's see here, is there anything else we're forgetting?
Yes, we did not mention that it is RDD immune. It's got a very similar level of stealth to the other AdaWave platforms, so it's functionally stealth is, I believe, the term that everybody on RD Forum uses. You should have no problem running it anywhere where that's a concern.
Good point. Can't believe I forgot that.
So what does this thing cost, and where can I get it?
Yeah, I'm sure people are wanting to know that. It is going to be, in the United States, it's going to be $399. It will be available on September 1st. In Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Australia, it will be available shortly thereafter, literally within a few days to maybe a week or two, and the pricing will be very different there. As far as Radenso.com, BestBuy.com, it will be available as well.
Yep.
And we're really, really excited about this product. I think, generally speaking, it's going to sell like hotcakes, especially at that price.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for supporting us, and thanks for giving us all the feedback that went into this. I mean, even little things like what side the power is on or having the mute button at the front, a lot of that is user-driven feedback from our other detectors. So thank you for sending that over. If you have any feature requests that you want to see implemented into this, drop it in the comments, shoot us an email. As I said, we're looking for suggestions since this is a new platform that we can continue improving. So just let us know.
See you guys soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.